Hey everybody, Jesture here with another Jesture Draft. Let's get started. All right, a couple of standouts in this pack rather. Let's see. The crest obviously is going to be pretty good. And one note about crests is they're actually playable in either of the colors that you pick them for. So let's take Horror Crest as an example. Crest of Order, it provides Justice and Primal Influence. I'd be happy playing this in a deck that is playing Justice or Primal as one of its main colors without even having any cards of the other one in the deck. Depleted can be a little bit of a problem, but Scout is just such a powerful ability to have on a power card that you can just run this as a Justice Sigil or a Primal Sigil. And of course be mindful that it comes into play depleted, but it's, if, you know, in a lot of situations it will, for example, if your mana flooded, it will be able to take a card and put it on the bottom of the deck, a power card and put it on the bottom of the deck, which is in some ways like drawing an extra card, because you wouldn't have to draw one extra power that's not doing anything for you. Same goes if you're power screwed. It's just very good at digging for what you want. But I don't think that's the pick here. There's a couple of really good cards. Notably, I'm looking at Surgeon's Saw, which is a very good card just on its own without the spellcraft. +1/+1, and Lifesteal for 3 mana is a very good rate. And then once you throw Dark Return into the mix, all of a sudden this card is... It's hard not to get a 2-for-1 with this, because you're pulling back one of your best units from the void, in addition to buffing up one of your creatures that can also gain you some life. Living Example, solid common. Pensive Lumen, another solid common. I'd be surprised if the person picking right behind me, or maybe 2 down, didn't end up in time, because there's some really great time commons right here. I think it's fair to say these are the 2 best time commons in the set. Yeah, and other than that, I think Ruination Sledge is a very good fire common. Fire Fisher is very playable. I think we've touched on all the playables there. Everything else, I mean, a couple of these are playable. Rampart Obelisk is fine. Entangling Vines is fine. First Rush Shaman is a little less than fine. But I think out of 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 4.5 cards, let's say just 1, 2 between these 4. I think I'm leaning towards the Surgeon's Saw, and a large part of that is just because I've never played with the card before. Or maybe not, I don't have a very strong impression of this, but every time I see it, it seems really good, and I don't get a lot of chances to play with it, so we're going to take the Surgeon's Saw here, and hopefully we'll get to play it. Get an idea for ourselves just how good this card is. Alright, moving into pack 2 here. Or pick 2, excuse me. I guess as a side note, I'm trying to make a deliberate effort to slow down a little bit. I know I was moving a bit fast for some people. It's always a little bit easier at the beginning of each pick in each pack when you have more cards to talk about, to sort of leave that time available for you guys to listen to what's going on. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to leave it in the comments on YouTube or in the Reddit comment section. I'll be happy to answer those then. Sometimes I just kind of blitz through these picks because I feel as though they're very cut and dry and they're very easy or they're very straightforward, but that might not be the case for everybody. And that's not to say that a certain card is just head and shoulders above the rest. Like, nobody should feel bad for asking questions. That's how we all get better at this game. So if you guys have any questions about any of these picks I make, I'll try to slow down a bit, but if that doesn't happen, please feel free to ask in the comment section and I'll try to address everything that I can. In any case, moving back to the draft, a lot of really great cards here. Magus of Celerity, 3/3 for 3 is a fine rate. Giving your units charges, I think at its best in a more aggressive shell, but again, like a 3/3 for 3 is just kind of a fine rate. The fact that it scouts when it comes to play is just a little bit of icing on the cake, and then units getting charged really is at its best in a more aggressive shell. Card is good. But it does require either a two faction commitment or maybe one of these factions with a splash for the other. Crests, I think we talked about crests already. I think it's a little bit too early, at least in this pack. There's a couple of other good cards here for me to take this Crest of Glory. Ideally, we'd like to end up in black, but kind of like we talked about last time, we really don't want to get attached to our first pick. Just for the first 4 or 5 picks, we really want to just try and keep our options open, pick the best card in each pack, sort of suss out and get a good feel for what's open and what's not. I guess speaking of that, we'll take a look at this. One of the commons went missing, so there's a good chance that was a changey stick. I think changey stick is the best common in the set, and there are some really strong cards in here, so I would be surprised if a changey stick was not first picked here. So one thing to keep in mind, the person before us might be in a primal, might not be, but I'm really leaning towards that. In any case, these 3 are very good. I'll probably end up taking the Crown Watch Standard, but I think these 3 cards here, Crest of Glory, Magus of Celerity, and the Crown Watch Standard are all worth considering. And below that, Pensive Lumen is kind of, I don't want to say it was slept on, but it really is just an absurdly strong card for a common. A 5-mana 5/4 is perfectly fine. It's mostly just filler at that point, but a 5-mana 7/6, which, I mean, Tribute can be a little bit tricky to proc, but the failsafe case on this card is high enough so that you're happy enough to play it, and then occasionally just blow people out with a 7/6 for 5 mana. And at common, this is one of the best payoffs for being in time. Other stuff, of course, like Living Example is great, but this guy in particular is very strong. Watchful Numenera is just a pretty solid body. 2/4 for 3 is a good distribution of stats for blocking, and being able to scout if you played a spell once per turn can help you filter through your deck really quickly, which is often very good in limited, just because ways to filter through your deck are, well, limited. But we're going to take this Crown Watch Standard just because I like pump spells, and I really like Crown Watch Standard as a card. Okay, so it seems like our options are kind of dried up a little bit. We've lost 1 common and 1 rare from this pack, or I guess 1 legendary, but what we're kind of left with isn't terribly exciting. I guess between all of these, the Watchful Numenera, we kind of talked about that last pack, or last pick, excuse me. It was, well, you know what? We can call it last pack. That's sort of a Magic thing. But in the last pick that we made, Watchful Numenera was available as well. And I do think it's a pretty good card. In this pack, I think it's tied with Cut Ties as maybe the best pick. Very quickly, just to go over this top, these 3 uncommons, just to sort of put anyone's mind at ease about, you know, rarity drafting. But I think Encouragement is not a very good card. Pump spells are great. I'm a big fan of them, but I think their biggest strength comes from being fast spells. And so stuff like this, Encouragement, stuff like Overheat, +5/+2, and Scout for 4 mana, it's not very good. A lot of that value just comes from being able to blow out your opponents in the middle of combat. And having to do this sort of like at slow speed, if you will, just not at fast spell speed, really makes the card a whole lot worse. Substitute is a lot better and constructed, but you kind of get into these situations sometimes where your opponent is killing you with a bunch of units that are smaller than 3/3s, and so while it seems kind of ideal as like 1 mana, let's get rid of our opponent's biggest unit, sometimes it's not even getting rid of it. Sometimes their biggest unit is a 1/1 with a weapon, for example, and then that 1/1 will become a 3/3. The 3/3 still holds onto the weapon. This card is, I think it's in theory and just at first glance it looks really great, but in practice it's never really quite where you want to be. Mindfire I wouldn't take unless I was in the most aggressive of decks. Card is fine at what it does, it just doesn't do a whole lot. 1 mana to exhaust 2 enemy units can be backbreaking in the right deck, but I don't think we're quite there. The rest of these I feel like don't really warrant any discussion. I think they're all pretty bad cards, and I'm not really happy with playing any of them. So I think right here we'll take the Cut Ties, sort of noting that the Watchful Numenera was also a reasonable pick. Oh, wow. Okay, so what's kind of odd is I think in the last, this would be our 4th pick now, but in the last 3 picks, it seems like nobody has taken an uncommon. There's been 3 available each time. Not to say that that's too bizarre, but I think that really just, in some ways, shows how well developed this draft format is for people to be taking commons over uncommons without them feeling too incredibly broken. In this pack, let's see. We have a couple of reasonable cards. I think the best card in here by and far is Welding Torch, and this is probably a pretty clear sign that the people in front of us are not taking fire, because I would consider this the best fire common in set 4 overall. There's obviously some other good ones and everything's situational, but the ability to play this for like a slightly worse Morningstar on turn 4 and the ability to get an extra torch out of it on turn 7, sort of that combined flexibility makes it an incredibly strong card. Let's see. Substitute we talked about. Robo Buddy, I don't know about this one. I've never been able to make this work, but I think at the end of the day, the 1/6 for 5 stat distribution just isn't very good. Territorial Elf is strong in the right deck, notably a very aggressive one. Ideally, you're really not caring about that can't block clause, and you're just sort of attacking. Combine it with like a rapid shot or some sort of pump spell, and you can get in for huge chunks of damage. Snowfort Trumpeter, 2/2 for 2, Yeti. If we end up picking up some Yetis, I think the big payoff Yetis in this draft format are in sets, or in packs 2 and 3. So I'm not really looking to spec on Yetis this early on. If we can pick up anything in packs 2 and 3, it might be worth it, but at this point, it's better to not just take vanilla 2/2s for 2 and hope that they'll play into like a tribal subtype that we draft. Silvering Purge Leader might be the second best card in this pack. Territorial Elf, I would say these two are tied for second best. Purge Leader and Territorial Elf. Even without the tribute, a 3/4 flyer for 6 is really not the worst in the world. There's not a lot of big flyers in this format, and a 3/4 is usually big enough to hold most of them at bay. Grave Tender, 3 mana, 1/1 flyer. If you can proc the tribute, it's an incredible above rate card, but the problem is that tribute, sort of like we were talking about with Pensive Lumen, that sort of like the floor on this card is too low to be playable. Pensive Lumen is a 5/4 for 5 without the tribute, and that's a fine card. It is a 7/6 for 5 with tribute, and that's an amazing card. I would say this is a 3/3 for 3 with flying if you have tribute, and that is an amazing card, but it's just too often that this will be a 1/1 for 3 with flying, which just is not playable. I guess Loyal Watchwing, if you're really scraping the bottom of the barrel, but even that has Warcry, this is just not something you can reliably trigger or reliably put in your deck and hope to trigger. So we'll take the Welding Torch here. Interesting. No red in this pack, so feeling a little bit silly about this Welding Torch, but maybe I shouldn't. There's a couple of reasonable picks here. I guess my eyes are going to Peacekeeper's Helm and Training Ground as sort of one of the 2 cards I'm taking is going to be one of these. And notably, I'm not too unhappy playing stuff like Advanced Scout. 3 mana, 2/1 flyer is fine. The Infiltrate with Scout is just gravy. And Petition it's not nearly as good as Seek Power, but I'm not too unhappy playing that either. That being said, given that these 2 are both in the pack, I think the right pick is going to be one of these 2. I'm not a big fan of Rebuke as a card, but I think as most people have figured out at this point, the ability to play Rebuke on top of another weapon makes that weapon a very strong card. So I think Peacekeeper's Helm is, well, maybe strong is a little bit of an overstatement, but this is a very solid card. It's not too often that you're unhappy playing this, and there's usually going to be, if there's not a target for the silence and stun, then you're probably in a pretty good shape already. Like if your opponent has no units in play, you're like, oh man, I can't spellcraft this. That's probably okay. Alternatively, we're looking at Training Ground, which kind of does a couple of things. 1 mana, you get to Scout, and you create a 2/2 Monk, and you draw it. Notably, this works with like Inspire, so if you've got like your Living Examples, or like your Lethrai Target Callers, you know, that 2/2 will become a 3/3, it'll have First Strike. Temple Shihan, it'll have Flying. And also, the ability to Scout is not to be underestimated. It's, I don't want to say, you know, I hate to keep making this comparison that it is similar to drawing a card because it's completely different, but sort of in longer games, being able to Scout off the top of your deck can turn a dead draw into a live draw. And so, not that you're drawing extra cards, but you are drawing more cards that are useful. So, again, using that example, if you're power flooded or if you're power screwed, you can always use that Scout ability to sort of filter the top of your deck, which can make the difference between being able to play the game and just not playing the game at all. Also, this matters in like the spells matter archetypes. Think like Wormstones and such, or even with like Watchful Maneras. And so this is sort of a more innocuous one, but I do think it's a very solid card. That being said, I think we're going to go with the Peacekeeper's Helm. It's a little bit more on color at this point. There's no red in this pack, but I think so far, between like in what we've drafted, we have Justice, Fire, and Shadow. And so if possible, I'd like to stay sort of on that course. Training Ground is good, and I would put it at about the same level as Peacekeeper's Helm, but I don't think it's head and shoulders enough better for me to pick it just to leave the factions I'm in right now. So we'll take the Peacekeeper's Helm here. We might be in the wrong colors. So let's see. Well, that being said, this just isn't a very exciting pack to begin with either. I think the best card here might be the Enraged Arachnodon. And it's not just because it's premium, but I do love premiums. I'm sucker for shinies. The Enraged Arachnodon, I think, is a little bit clunky at 7 mana, but a 6/6 Berserk is a very serviceable top end for any sort of deck. You're not like super excited to be playing this card, but I mean, this will happen, especially if you're in Primal. You'll often get some games where you're just going to go turn 7 Enraged Arachnodon, turn 8, let me equip it with a changey stick, and polymorph your biggest guy. So all of a sudden you're swinging in with a 7/7 flyer with Berserk. That's 14 damage out of nowhere. Then of course this guy also, the Berserk ability just couples really well with weapons or buffs or pump spells or anything like that. And so, that being said, he has double blue, so maybe we can look to some other options here. I don't know. I just don't think any of these cards are particularly good. Yeah, we'll go with the Arachnodon. I'm not a big fan of it, but oh my. Okay, so I think Lethrai Darkstalker showing up here is a pretty good sign that Primal might be open. And I think we are going to take it here because the rest of the cards are not terribly exciting. In fact, I don't think I've ever played any of these. I did lose to a Gruin form last week, which is kind of cool, but I don't think it's quite where we want to be when something like Lethrai Darkstalker is on the table. And sort of a note about Darkstalker, it's like they just sort of have like increasing value, where in the first one is so-so, and then each one after that becomes subsequently better than the first one. And so having like multiples of this card can really open up your deck in a lot of ways and make it a lot stronger than it would have been otherwise. But I think here we're going to take this and just kind of see where it goes. If we can pick up another 1 or 2 in the next few packs, we're going to be in really great shape. I think Training Ground is by and far the best card here, but it's given what we've seen so far, I think this might have just been a pack with a lot of time in it, and this is just sort of trickling down. I don't think this is an indication that time is open at all, and I'm certainly not splashing this card. Typically, you want your splashes to be a little bit further down the curve if possible. Grit is unplayable. Crown Watch Recruiter is bad. Back Alley Delinquent is not very good either. And then Gruin form we've talked about. I don't know. This is tough. Let's see. What are we working with? Okay. We do kind of need some units. We're very high on, what do we have, like 3 weapons so far, and a pump spell, and a cut ties, a removal spell. So I don't think it would be too bad to... Yeah, maybe we'll just take the Training Ground. I know this is kind of a problem we ran into last time, but we'll try and lock down a color a little bit earlier, maybe towards the beginning of the next pack based on what we pick. Kind of see what happens from there. Okay. I know I said Gravetender wasn't very good, but I think it's much better than Scirocco Elementalist, which, I don't know, the ability to put a unit with flying into its owner's hand is just a little bit... It's a very corner case, and it's not particularly good. Like, for example, if you had a 3-mana 2/2 that said kill an enemy unit with flying. That would be an example of a card that's like very narrow, but still very strong. This card is very narrow, and it's sort of mediocre. So I think here we'll take the Grave Tender. Scavenging Spike back. Now, one thing to note is it does look as though our Justice and our Fire and our Shadow have kind of been disappearing in the last couple of packs. So we might look to shift colors at the beginning of the next pack, but again, we kind of want to make sure we don't fall into this trap that we fell into last time of not having enough playables in 2 to 2.5 to 3 colors. Because really playing a 3-color deck is not where we want to be. We'd rather have a solid deck in 2 colors than, you know, a lot of really good cards in all different colors. But we'll take the Scavenging Spike back here. It is a perfectly fine card. Purge Leader, much better than Lunging Wisp. Then we're not playing a Spore Scavenger. So let's take a break real quick. We want to take a look at what we have right now. I think Fire might be off the table. Welding Torch is still splashable, but I'm not too excited for it. We can probably move these aside for now. Green Justice seems like it should be okay. Picking up a late Silverwing Purge Leader wasn't the worst thing. I'm not too excited about our time, but you know, we are being offered a Xenon Obelisk here, and I do think this is a card that is incredibly good in Limited. It just sort of, I mean, being able to give all your units +1/+1 is already amazing, and then it protects from Flood by giving all your units +2/+2. That basically guarantees they're not going to be beaten in combat. I think this is the sort of bomb that, especially this early in the draft, where only in pack 2, pick 1, this is the sort of bomb you want to be looking to take, and that could shape the rest of your draft. Notably, we only have Grave Tender and Training Ground, but there's a lot of good time cards in packs 2 and 3 in these curated packs, and so I think it will be worth taking this and just sort of like specking on it in the coming picks. Notably, other good cards, Slay's very strong, and we do have good and green and black cards to support it. Rapid Shot is a very good black card, and we do have Surgeon Saw and Cut Ties in those colors already. I do love me some Rapid Shot. I'm a big fan of pump spells, but I think here we just have to take the Xenon Obelisk, and this card this card beat us last week, so you know, we're gonna draft this, and we're gonna draft a Catcher of the Devoted, and we're gonna make a great comeback. All right. Well then, I know we were saying red sort of dried up, but that is a Torch. Torch is an amazing card. For those of you that don't know, that flexibility, that combination of flexibility and reach and low cost is very, very good to have on a card. Also, it's a fast spell, so it's amazing. It's removal, it's reach, can blow out your opponent, like double blocks and stuff in the middle of combat. The rare went missing here. I say went missing. It probably went to the guy before us. He probably picked it. It's not going to disappear. But gosh, I think we might just take the Torch here. Nothing else is really terribly exciting. I think the Crafty Yeti is also pretty good. And it's one of those Yetis that you can pick without having a payoff Yeti and still play it. But, gosh. So this is tough because I don't think Fire was very open in pack 1. So we might have to only end up splashing Fire as opposed to playing as one of our main colors. But I think Torch is good enough. We'll take it right here. Sort of see where that goes. Move that back. Yeah, this is a bit of a cluster right here. Let's see. Okay, so some pretty okay cards, Justice cards. I think Bright Mace Paladin is perfectly fine. 3/3 for 3 is a good rate, and then Lifesteal with 4 more attack is perfectly fine. Stick a weapon on him, stick a Sharpen Reflex on him, stick a Pump Spell on him, he'll just gain you a big chunk of life. Spirit Blade Stalker, 2/4 for 4 is not an amazing rate, but sort of that late game ability to give one of your units +1/+1 in Lifesteal can be a huge life swing in your favor, or just, you know, a pretty big like a stat swing almost. Like just giving something +1/+1 is not terrible. I think I'm a little bit more partial to the Bright Mace Paladin, so I think we'll take that here. Seems as though this pack is pretty light on time and primal, and I don't know if that means it's being picked away from us very quickly, but that is something to keep in mind as we go forward. So we'll just take the Bright Mace Paladin here. Okay. I know we were looking to move into time. Oh, gosh. This is one of those really tough decisions, and I fall into this trap all the time, but sometimes drafters, good and bad drafters, will move into a faction just to sort of accommodate a bomb that they've picked up. In this case, I think Xenon Obelisk is worth moving in on, just because the card is that good. And even though time looked okay in pack 1 actually, but I think there is going to be some other people in it just based on how our later picks looked. In this pack, I'm looking at the Dispel. I think it's very good. Silence is an incredible ability. The fact that it cantrips to draw you an extra card is very relevant as well. But more importantly, I don't really see anything else in this pack that's terribly exciting. Second best card might be the Ravenous Thornbeast. 3/3 for 3 with potential upside. You can sacrifice another creature and make it a 5/5. You know, deal with your opponent's permanent frosts, or your creature gets silenced or something. You can always, or maybe even like a Granite Drone, you can just sort of like give it up and like play this guy. Or on top of like, that might be the second pick. Horror Banner is also another one, but I don't think we're really in those colors. Banners and crests are really at their best when you're playing one of the colors and splashing another. And so we might be playing Justice, but I don't see us splashing Primal. Maybe if we had picked up a Changey Stick, but not with the deck we have right now. Speaking of horror, I don't think we're a bring down deck. This card is very strong, very niche. Sort of when I was talking about Sirocco Elementalist. This is like, that's the kind of niche. This is the kind of niche ability I want to be playing, if anything at all. But I don't really want to be playing something that's like, if a creature has flying, then you return it to your opponent's hand, because that's just much worse than straight up killing it. So I think we'll take the Dispel here. Notably, we're really short on 2-drops at this point, so we kind of have to keep that in mind as we're going forward. Hopefully we can pick up some Living Examples or some Workshop Tinkers in the last pack if we end up in those colors. Or, I mean, just good 2-drops. Doesn't have to be those colors. Let's see. Out of the cards here, I think these 4 are just filler. I'm never really happy to play these. Out of these, I think Bring Down, I've spoken my bit on that already. Stalwart Shield is fine. It's reasonable, especially on something like a Bright Mace Paladin, but I think it's a little bit expensive for what it's offering. Silver Ring Avenger is a card I'm actually quite happy with. I think Flying in particular, not that it's an underrated ability, people know Flying is good, but Flying is a very strong ability, and giving it an enemy a permanent -2 attack is often just enough to turn a race from an opponent's favor into your favor. Note that the -2 attack is permanent, so. And then the Combray Banner, I really think we should make some decisions on our colors at this point, but whatever they may be, I don't think, because what I'm leaning towards is, I think Justice might be one of our main colors, and maybe we're splashing Time, and that would be for like Xenon Obelisk. Oh, so in that case, Combray Banner might be okay. Let's just simplify things a bit. I think we can cut our Primal. These cards are all good, but stuff like Leathery Darkstalker is not good on its own. You need a couple. You really need the right deck for that. And Range Recton's okay. Spikeback's not bad. And then out of these, I think these are both very good. When I say these, sorry, I'm talking about Fire and I'm talking about Shadow. They're both very good splashes. Being able to splash a Surgeon Saw or a Cut Ties, and splashing a Welding Torch and a Torch, those are all perfectly fine splashes. I think what we'll do is we'll just move them into the board for now. And then, so I think as of right now, our only main color might be Silver Ring Avenger. We can take that right here, and then that'll lock us into that'll give us 2 double Justice cards, which kind of points to Justice being one of our main colors. And then we can pick out a secondary color with whatever's being offered, which might be Time, Fire, or Shadow. And then I think we can splash a third one of those, depending on how this looks. Yeah, that sounds good. Okay, so we'll take a Silvering Avenger here. So Lightning Storm is fine, but I think we're out of Primal at this point. Disjunction, I do love attachment removal, but it's much better on something like Ruination Sledge, where you have another card that helps you remove attachments in addition to doing something else, as opposed to a card that just removes attachments. Copperhall Port is probably the pick. We're really starved for 2-drops at this point, and this is a perfectly good 2-drop. The ability to draw Justice Sigil out of your deck when it dies is not to be underestimated. Crafty Yeti's good. Combust is very good and constructed. I don't think I'm too high on it in limited. It's just a little bit tough to sacrifice a unit to kill another unit. You know, there are fewer Icaria Liberateds or Rizal Great Bowmasters running around, and you have fewer Grenadin drones to sacrifice to just sort of get rid of those. So oftentimes when you're playing this card in limited, you have to sacrifice something a little bit more meaningful, and you will be killing something that's not quite as good as it would be in constructed. But in any case, we'll take the Copperhall Porter here. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. What in the world? This is an easy finest hour because I love pump spells, but these are all... I mean, the Waystones are fine. They're sort of the epitome of, like, I will play it if I'm in that color, but it's not exciting. Just because there's no real cost to play. It's no real cost to playing these. They're just, like, really tiny bonuses if you've met a, like, condition. And if you haven't, it's, like, fine. You'll just run it out as a Time Sigil or as, like, a Justice Sigil. Brand-based Paladin, that we've talked about a lot. Battlefield Scavenger is a very good 2-drop. Even without the ultimate of pay 4 to draw a Valkyrie from your Void and give it Warcry, you're still paying 2 mana for a 1/3 with Warcry. That's kind of like a Minotaur Grunt, but being in black, I think is what makes this card really good. Having those aggressive, like, Stone Scar decks, for example, and having an extra way to Warcry is very, very good. Island's Intervention, it's usually just 1 mana, kill a flyer, like, you know, kill an enemy rotor cycle or something in limited. Never too unhappy to play it, but also never too happy to play it. It's fine. But we're taking Finest Hour here, because Finest Hour is an amazing card. Oh boy. So, we kind of have some decisions to make here. Sporefolk is out of the question. We're not... It's not a good card, and we're not splashing for that. There's no reason to take this card, but Water of Life, same thing. It's just not a very good card unless, you know, we've got a lot of the Xenon Life Force deck or something, but we haven't found any, like, really strong payoffs. No Catch for the Devoteds to sort of make that worth our consideration. So really it comes down to these 3 cards right here. Praxis Banner, Minotaur Oathkeeper, Into the Furnace. Furnace is interesting. I think it's barely playable without any Grenadins in your deck if you are in fire already. But as far as removal spells go, if I'm splashing for fire and I have no Grenadins, well, I guess I wouldn't have any Grenadins if I'm splashing fire, but if this is not like one of my main colors, then I'm a lot less excited to be playing this card. So I think we can rule out Into the Furnace because of that. Minotaur Oathkeeper, I think, is one of the best 1-drops in the game. Not to say that it's amazing, but there's not a lot of good 1-drops in the game. You've got your, like, Stone Scar sneaks and stuff like... I think Minotaur Oathkeeper is fine. Your Veteran Strategist in set 4 is really, really good, but this guy right here, giving your attacking creature +1/+1, especially if you've got something like an Illumination Wisp that's chipping in every turn, or, like, even just a small flyer that's getting in for 1 damage a turn. You know, changing that from 1 to 2 damage, from 2 to 3 damage. Not only is it speeding up your clock, but it's sometimes just good enough to, like, for example, if you have a 1/1 flyer and they have, like, a 1/2 flyer, it's, you know, that little bit of extra stat, those extra stats is sometimes enough to just sort of get over that hump. Praxis Banner, not much to say. It's a banner, and we do have some very splashable red cards. My concern about this is I'm not even sure if we're in time because... well, we're probably playing a Xenon Obelisk, right? I would just hate for, like, us to end up in, like, Argenport colors, and then we want to splash Xenon Obelisk and Torch and Welding Torch, and then all of a sudden we have this Praxis Banner here, and what, we're playing a Praxis Banner in Argenport? That doesn't seem right. That being said, fixing is very important, and we don't have any. I think I gotta take the Praxis Banner here and hope we end up with either Fire or Time as one of our main cards, and then with the other being our splash. This does kind of pull us away from Surgeon Saw and Cut Ties, but who knows? Maybe we'll get some, you know, a couple of Seek Powers or Veteran Strategists and kind of make this all come together. Cards worth picking, I don't see any. Gorgon Swiftblade is strong, it's not in our colors. 1/1 Rakano Flagbearer it's pretty close to unplayable. The Warcry 2 is nice, but the situations in which you can attack with it multiple times just aren't worth it. I should say the situations you can attack with it multiple times just aren't worth the times you'll play that card. It'll just die immediately. We'll take Emerald Waystone here. Again, we're probably not playing it, but I mean, we're probably playing it, but it's not terribly exciting. Shadow cards. Versus a Powder Keg Rider. Now, if I take any of these, I think if I take any of the Shadow cards, it's going to be the Ravenous Stormbeast. I'm not a fan of the Splashy Duelist stat line. The Powder Keg Rider, I don't think we're playing this card. It's sort of the payoff for having a lot of Granitins. I'd much rather pick up the Granitins first. You know, some Granite Waystones, some Granitin Drones, before picking up a Powder Keg Rider, versus the other way around, where we take the Rider and then hope the other Granitins come up. We'll take the Ravenous Stormbeast. There's a good chance we just don't play it. But who knows? We'll see. Here, I'll take a Burnout. I'm not a big fan of Umbran Thirster. Maybe I should be, though. We gotta... Hold on. What do we have? We have Silverwing Purge Leader, Crown Watch Standard. I guess Brightness Paladin can also get Lifesteal. And then if we're in black, we also have a Surgeon Saw. That's tough. These picks are tough. I think I'm still on the Burnout train. Don't think the card is very good, but I think the Umbran Thirst is just a little bit worse. So we'll take the Burnout. And then here's an Audacious Bandit. Sure, whatever. Wow. Okay. We get out of the Torch, and I feel like we kind of have to splash red at this point. So, or make it one of our main colors even. But that's kind of a good sign for us because we did take this Praxis Banner. Kind of pushes us a little bit into time, but I don't think that's the worst thing given that we have a Xenon Obelisk. So maybe we can go like Rakano with this Audacious Bandit, this Burnout, a couple of, like a pair of Torches, and then sort of splash for a Xenon Obelisk, and maybe like a spell or something. I guess a couple of quick cards to note in this pack. Silverwing Avenger, like I said, I really like this card. I don't think it's quite as good as the Torch, and the Double Justice is a little bit off-putting. Not that we're not already cemented into Justice, but I think Torch is just a better card overall. Sinsari Brigand is only for the most aggressive of decks. Can be played and constructed. Double red on 3, like double Fire Influence on 3 is kind of tough to hit. Beast Caller's Amulet is quite good. It's just very, like, it'll just cheese you wins sometimes. And like a 5/5 on turn 3 is really nothing to be scoffed at. Predator's Instinct is fine. It'll be removal sort of in a pinch. Entrapment is fine. I think 4 mana is a little bit too much to be paying for that effect, but you know, it'll do its job sometimes. It'll often do what you want it to. Stonescar Banner, not much to say there. I don't think any of these cards in the bottom row are very good. Neither is Tillier's Choice. Yeah, so we'll take a Torch here because Torch is a great card. Wow, there's some really great cards here. Let's go ahead and move a couple of these over real quick. We can probably leave Audacious Bandit, Burnout, and Core Scavenger in there for now. What is this? Sorry. Huh? This is what? It's not even a fast spell. Okay. It's not a fast spell. I'm not really interested in that. All right. It's got some good cards here. Crown Watch Paladin. Okay, Crown Watch Paladin is interesting. I think the Aegis is a lot less relevant in... like, don't get me wrong, it is good, but I think it is less relevant in Draft than it is in Constructed. And with that in mind, I think, like, this card, Crown Watch Paladin, is often just a 2/1... Like, it's often just an Oni Ronin, with a little bit of, like... It costs 1 more in a different faction, has a little bit of, like, an extra word and an extra combo on it. Card is not bad by any means. I think Warcry has a very strong ability, and having it on a 2-drop with an Aegis can, you know, like, for example, if your opponent has a hand with, like, a Torch and no creatures to block it, then it'll be great there, but I'm honestly not too high on this card. I guess that changes if you have like a Humble Instructor or something. Lumen Defender is quite good. I think I might end up with this. It's kind of going at odds with an aggressive Recano deck, but it is just a very good card as well. Into the Furnace. Now, we talked about this one. I guess we're at a bit of a crossroads again. Lumen Defender is quite good, but it's very antithetical to what we're doing if we want to play aggressive with Finest Hour and 2 Torches and Burnout and stuff like that. Whereas Into the Furnace, I think, is a weaker card overall. But it's probably a better card in an aggressive deck. That being said, Crown Watch Paladin might actually just be the better card in an aggressive deck because that's one of the best 2-drops you can have in those style of decks. So maybe we just don't even consider Into the Furnace and we decide between Crown Watch Paladin and Lumen Defender. Huh. That's tough. I think we'll just take Crown Watch Paladin. I kind of like aggressive decks a little bit more, and they take up less time, so... Yeah, we'll take a Crown Watch Paladin here, see how it goes. Let's see. We got a couple of neat cards here. Fearless Yeti, I think, is a fantastic 2-drop, but it is not in our colors. Copperhole Porter is fine. Crown Watch Legionnaire I'm not too high on, but the card is very good with a lot more weapons in the deck, which, you know, Peacekeeper's Helm, Welding Torch, I guess that's all we have. Xenon Obelisk, I guess. And then Frontier Confessor. Frontier Confessor is not nearly as good as something like Archive Curator, but I think it'll get the job done in a pinch. The rest of these not too exciting. We might just take another Copperhole Porter here, just to sort of shore up on 2-drops. We're kind of short on those at this point. Yeah. The Rampage is also not the worst, but not the worst is not exactly a ringing endorsement. I think we'll take the Copperhole Porter here. Yeah, because we really need those 2-drops. Dispel? I'll take another Dispel. Slush Dumper is another payoff Yeti. I think that and Yoton Punter are really the 2 you're looking for. And then sort of like those Yoton Punter and Slush Dump are really what make the Yeti deck work. And then I think stuff like Slope Sergeant is just like sort of icing on the cake. Then like your Yeti Snow Slingers. I think it's the 2/2 that infiltrates for a snowball, whatever that one's called. And your Crafty Yetis are just sort of like the bread and butter of those decks. And then the rest of the Yetis are fine. You're probably not playing them unless you have to. But in any case, that's not us. We're not in Primal. I'm kind of okay with taking another Dispel here. I think the first one is a little bit worse. Or the second one's a little bit worse than the first one. And they kind of lose a little bit of value as you draft more and more. But I'm not really seeing anything in this pack that's terribly exciting. I guess this might be a good time to do like a unit count. Let's see. We got like Training Ground half. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 units. Oh my god. Okay. That's kind of tough. We might have to just take a Crown Watch Legionnaire then, because we're just so short on units right now. Golly. Yeah, I'm not really excited about Crown Watch Legionnaire, but I think 6 units on what the pack to pick 28 out of 48. We're like more than halfway through the draft, and we don't even have half the number of creatures we need yet. Yeah, that's tough, but we gotta take a Crown Watch Legionnaire here. I wish I had paid attention to that a little bit sooner, but what can you do? Okay. Let's see. Slow, Rebuke, Safe Return. Not too excited about any of these. Powder Keg Rider, again, it's one of those cards that's just, I don't know. Like, if we don't have any Grenadins, it's just not worth playing at all. But, no units in this pack to speak of. I think we might just take a Slow Rebuke. One of these 2 is on color. Neither of them are very good, but maybe we'll pick up like a Merchant in the last pack and kind of make it work from there. So between these 2, I think we're more in Rebuke colors, so we'll take a Rebuke. Well, The Rakano banner is nice, but we still have this problem of only having 7 units. Alternatively, we could take a Xenon banner and go 4 colors, but that sounds like suicide, so let's take a Rakano banner. Oh, wow. Some very good Yetis here. Snowcrest Yeti is another one I forgot to mention. Slope Sergeant's very solid. Gun down, but we have no creatures? I think Gun down is the best card in this pack. It's definitely better than Voyaging Loom, and white might even be a splash at this point, so we'll take a Gun down, but I'm kind of wary of how this one's turning out. We do not play Helpful Doorbot. That's not something we do. We do not play Rakano Flagbearer either. I guess we could take a... I don't really see us playing a Disjunction or an Argenport banner. Maybe we grab some crazy Shadow Bomb. Alright. Wow. These are not good cards. Okay. That's alright. We'll take a... Sparkbot? Sure, we'll take a Sparkbot here. I do not like this card, but we do need units, and I do think it's better than a Scrap Hound. Especially if we don't have Grenadins in our deck. Hopefully we don't have to play this. Frontier Confessor, yes, get in there. I did it again, sorry. For anybody watching the video, there was like a Helpful Doorbot, like a Winter's Grasp, I think? I don't even remember, but I'd much rather take a Silence on color than anything else in there. We'll take an Emerald Waystone here. Not exciting, but that's fine. And another clan hero, that's interesting. What is First Flame? You or one of your units. Gosh, I wish I wasn't recording a video so I could just rare draft this. I might still rare draft it. Alright, what are we looking at? This deck did not come together quite the way we wanted it to. 11 seems like a bit much. We're never hitting that. Yeah, we're never hitting 11 power in a game of Sealed, unless something's going horribly awry. Stinging Wind is playable. Stinging Wind is quite good, actually. Not just playable. And the Sky Crew is... I've made my opinions of Sky Crew known, but I think it's might be the way to go here. We can also just take the first flame. How many creatures do we have? 1, 2... Training Ground? Get that Argenport banner out here. Yeah, maybe we'll just go green-white and try and splash all of these red cards. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so that would kind of give us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Get in there, Grave Tender. 10? Yeah. And we'll take a Stinging Wind. I think we'll let the first flame go. We might end up in Combre splashing whatever this other color is called. Can't remember. Words are hard. Gosh, should we take a Bullet Shaper? No, we're not splashing it, so it's probably not very good, but we also just need creatures at this point. I just still don't really see a world in which we're splashing Bullet Shaper, so we'll kind of let that one go. Rambot's bad. Parma's good. I actually don't know how good Resolute Paladin is, but this might be the deck to try it out, just because, you know, we've got a couple of pump spells, 2 torches, a Finest Hour, we've got that Training Ground. It's that or something like Sandglass Parma. I'd love to see some 2-drops, but maybe we just take the Resolute Paladin here. Huh. Let's try it. This is a card I don't have much experience with, so. Creatures. Jeepers creatures. Okay. I'm leaning towards Subterranean Sentry here. I think the card is quite good. And it is a creature. That's basically it. Not happy to play Grave Tender. We might end up playing the copy we already have, just because we're so low on them, but what do we have, like 10, 11 at this point? I think we take a Subterranean Sentry. We'd love to see like a Living Example, or like a Learned Herbalist at this point. Something that costs 2. Maybe a Spire Spellsword? The Grenadin's fine. Pay 1 and sacrifice Grenadin to kill an enemy attachment, but I hate to be playing... Because that's our splash, right? Kind of like to keep that our splash if possible. Huh. So I typically don't advocate... I think I'm going to take the Grenadin. I typically don't advocate for picking cards like this early on, or I shouldn't say early on, we're already in pack 4, but I don't typically advocate for picking cards like this as like cards that are in our splash color that are very early on the curve. That being said, 2-mana 2/2s are kind of in short supply right now, and I don't think anything else here is very good. So let's just take this and hope we get lucky with our influence, I guess. Oh, wow. Huh. Graceful Calligrapher is good. Subterranean Sentry is good. We're kind of... We've got a couple of 4-drops already, but notably 2 of them are welding towards Museum Obelisk, so I think they're okay. I think we take the Calligrapher here. It's just a little bit better than anything else. Maybe Subterranean Sentry gives it a run for its money, but I like this card quite a bit. I think we just take a Training Ground here. We're not really looking at the rest of these cards for any reason. Blue and black, not our colors. War Painters, fine, but not great. We'll take a Training Ground. Kind of doubles up as a 2-drop in some ways. We'll take a Reinforced Baton here, but I don't want to play this card. I think, again, these are not our colors. And Grave Tender's fine, but, you know, it's not fine. Grave Tender's not very good. Alright, these cards are bad. There you go. These cards are also bad. Take Huddle Together, because the art is great. And then we might play a Death Strike. That's neat. And then a Spite Feeder. Huh. Okay, so this one's interesting. 14 units, good grief. Well, I guess 14 with 2 Training Grounds isn't the worst, so that's something. 2 Copper Hull Porters. Yeah, this curve is kind of wonky looking. Tops out at 4. A lot of 1-drops. I guess the 1-drops are like Training Grounds and stuff, so maybe this isn't the worst draft, but anyway, so we have 5 power. So I guess 4 right here. We're not counting the Crown Watch Centers power, so that's like 15, and then 16, 17, 18, 19. I guess it's the deck. We had 15 to this. That brings our power to... No, that brings our power to 20. So we do actually need to add 1 more card. Huh. It's not a good position to be in. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, this is really telling. I feel like this happens a lot. Huh. We could just cram an Audacious Bandit into there. Would that be the worst thing? It's pretty bad. We got a lot of 4-drops. Let's see. I'm not sure what this last card should be. You throw in an Argenport banner. Play a single Cut Ties. That's bad, right? It might be better than playing something like Dispel. But I don't know. Our influence requirements are so tight already. Well, actually, they're not too bad. We have like 2 double Justice cards and everything else is single. So, but yeah, 4th color is probably a little bit ambitious. I don't know. So what are our options? We have like a Rebuke. We have like a Reinforced Baton. We have an Audacious Bandit. I think we might just play the Reinforced Baton. It's not a card I'm very excited about, but it's got some sick synergy with our Emerald Waystones, and it does actually help us a little bit in the early game. Double Justice is going to be hard to hit on 3, but I think we're primarily a Justice deck, so we can kind of tilt our power base with the skew that way. Alright, so let's see what we have. Yeah, we're like 50% Justice. Add power. So we have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is way too much fire. This leaves us with 4 fire sources, and well, maybe we don't have. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we kind of want to end up with 5 plus 3. So we want to end up with like 5 or 6 fire sources. So maybe we'll go like 1 here. Maybe we'll. Yeah, so we kind of want about 5 to 6 fire sources. So we'll go here. And then for the rest of this, I think this is okay. We might end up cutting one of these. We don't have a lot of time cards early on. Maybe like Training Ground. I guess Training Ground is like a pretty big reason too. Maybe like that actually, because I think we want to be a little bit greedier on our power base in order to accommodate these double cards we're playing. What are they called? Double influence cards we're playing. Okay, that's a deck. Let's give it a shot. This is an awkward starting hand, but I think it has everything we want. Let's try it. I think we gotta put that one away. We would like to see, what, like a Justice Sigil? That's okay too, actually. But that means we get to run this guy out. Undepleted power sources, really what we were looking for. And then we can play the Praxis Banner on 3 and trick our opponent to think we're playing the Praxis deck, which is kind of cool.
Let's see. A little bit of this.
Then, oh, that's pretty sweet too. Maybe. Maybe just offer that trade right here. Alright, cool. He's not blocking, that's fine. And then we can play this Crown Watch Legionnaire. Pester. Yeah, this seems okay. I guess our opponent has secret pages, something to sort of keep in mind. Oh, combo. So, we'll run out the Praxis Banner here. Right? Yeah. Praxis Banner here. I think we attack with both. And then we have the Torch sort of as backup, and then we can play the Bright Mace Paladin. Huh. Or, let's just run out the Xenon Obelisk right now. I kind of like that better. And then A-Space. If he's got a trick, so be it, but, trick. Trick in the loosest sense of the word. Sure. Take 5 here, pass turn, and then next turn that frees us up to go Bright Mace Paladin with Torch backup.
I'll find my way.
You're worth more dead than alive.
Yep, so we'll go swings, and then we're holding up this torch to sort of like make sure nothing bad happens. Cool. Here's a Bright Mace Paladin, 4/4 lifesteal, and we'll pass turn. Nice! So this works out pretty well for us, and we've got a Frontier Confessor just sort of make sure nothing goes south from here. Preserver of Dualities. That card is very good. Cool, you got a 3/1, makes sense. Here, we'll run that out. We want to get this Crown Watch Center online, and I think we're going to A-Space again. It's really nice that our opponent's tapped out. Am I okay with this? I think I'm okay with this, actually. Yeah. So we're going to lose this guy right here. And I think it might be worth running this guy out just to silence the Preserver.
You've got a familiar face.
Yeah. And we'll see how this one goes. I don't know. We're playing this one a little bit aggressively, but I saw him at 12 life and smelled blood in the water, so... Who knows? Maybe punished, maybe not. Oh, sweet! That's good. So he'll invest a little bit more mana right there.
Don't come any closer.
Then I guess we can A-Space here again. He's tapped out, so Crown Watch Center is going to be kind of a beating. Sure. Cool. And we'll play this Copper Hall Porter right here. It's sort of another creature that can attack through everything. All of his guys only have 2 attack. 2 attack and 1 attack, so...
Stay alert.
He kind of has to... Oh, there we go. That's pretty good, right? Interesting. I wish I had silenced this guy. Well, that's not true. He would have had another 1/1 list, but you never quite know where those end. But I think we can attack with Frontier Confessor and maybe Bright Mace Paladin. Yeah, so any of these kind of requires a double block, but that could be a double block there. This could be a double block here. That Amonera is just kind of annoying. What a big butt. Sure, we'll try it. Attack with both of these. Yeah, makes sense. Yep, cool. We'll kill the Amonera. And then this Cabal Slash becomes 4/3, which is a little bit obnoxious. Play this, pass turn. Oh my. I hope that's a find the way. What? Clockroach? Yeah, get in there, little guy. You got it. Sure. Go to 47. Yeah, I kind of want to hold this, but I guess we should just play it out. Just to sort of try and pump up our Xenon Obelisk. Well, let's serve him with this guy first. Maybe we can get a trade somewhere. Yeah, I'm okay with that. So, sure. We'll get another one. And we'll play the Justice Sigil.
Safe travels.
That's solid. Yeah, I'm not really worried about dying to this primeval Clover. Like, I think the game will end long before that happens. Like, we'll deck out before then, right? Yeah, with 28 cards. So, we'll take 1 a turn, that's fine. Justice Sigil, pass turn. And then, I think... following turn, we get access to our upgraded Xenon Obelisk.
Guide my fists.
Take 1, sure. That's pretty good. That kind of makes everything really big, sure. So if we play that, our guy goes up to a 5/6, 3/5. If we stun this guy and swing, what is that? It's a 6/6, 6/8, and he has exactly 2, 2, 2, 3, so he's 9 on the board to deal with it. I'm kind of okay with that, actually. Sure. So stun this guy, and then a space. So I think there's a quad block incoming on this guy right here, but that should be able to kill the Living Offering. Oh. Huh. That is not what I was expecting. So then he doesn't have enough power to kill it this next turn. Oh, of course. Yeah, there's combust on top of the deck. Why didn't I think of that? Okay, so we'll go to 42 right here. Oh, what's up, big boy? That Death Strike is pretty sweet, but unfortunately can't weapon this. Okay, so we won that one. Not really sure how or why, but I thought our opponent was in okay shape there. Alright, everybody. We are against Starlbirth, and I don't really love this hand, but I think we'll kind of just keep it on the back of turn 1 Training Ground, turn 2 Mega Monk. Also, we're on the draw and we have a Scout, so I think we will find Power 3 and 4 somewhere along the way. Yeah, this is kind of showcasing the power of Training Ground right here. It's just sometimes you get exactly what you're looking for. Copper Hall Porter. Yeah, I kind of like it. Our opponent's showing red. Doesn't really mean anything, but aggressive decks tend to have a little bit of red in them, so maybe we'll just play it out as a blocker.
moving.
And I think I'm okay with that.
How can I
And if
say?
you want to use a temper or some sort of spell on it, I think I'm okay with that too.
Eat steel.
Yeah, I think this is the play we just talked about. Cool. Alright, so here's a monk.
Guide my fists.
That's tempting. I mean, this start really just, like, sort of, really signals a very aggressive deck. So, one thing to know when you're playing against aggressive decks, you don't really want to worry too much about, like, for example, getting full value off of, like, spellcraft and stuff. The cards, like, the card advantage doesn't really matter that much. It's just more about stabilizing. That being said, I kind of like the play of passing turn here, because we do have a favorable block set up, and so he'll have to burn a pump spell to get through this. And if he does, we have a follow-up with Graceful Calligrapher, and he'll be one pump spell down. Also, he can't exhaust this, which is kind of neat. Okay, I guess that's cool too. Let's just, Calligrapher pass turn might not be bad. Yeah.
Beauty.
And then out pass
Boundless
turn.
combined.
Yeah. So unless we're getting really next leveled, which I just don't think is the case, I think our opponent doesn't have any pump spells. So we should be okay on this front. Notably, Peacekeeper's Helm can come down. Sure, go to 20. Crafty Yeti. Oh, that's spicy. I like that. That's pretty sweet. Grenner Render. Oh yeah, that's bad. Why did we draft that? Our options are to play the Frontier Confessor, probably silencing the Sky Snapper, or we can play the Peacekeeper's Helm with Rebuke. I kind of like the idea of getting another body out on the board. Not to mention that I don't really think there's any good Rebuke targets. Silencing this guy I think is just perfectly fine. And then it does leave up a pretty good blocker for the 4-3 in the form of a 3-2, which we don't really have a good blocker for that 4-3 right now. So I think we'll just play this right here and pass turn. Yep, kind of showing our colors here with the lack of influence. Oh, that's pretty neat. Notably, Peacekeeper's Helm to silence this guy would not be terrible, but I think for now we can just take a turn off to run out the Xenon Obelisk. And then, if our opponent has a Ruination Sledge, we can just say punished, because that's what happened. Changey stick. No. Okay. That's pretty sweet. Exhaust the Frontier Confessor, sure. Sure? I will block the War Chief. Huh. Yeah, that's fine. We'll block the War Chief. Huh. This is kind of exciting. I think we just pass turn here and hold a Crown Watch tactic. Could serve in, but I kind of like to conceal that information a little bit more. I'm a big fan of using the pump spell sort of on like the what do you call them? Sort of on the crackback. And here, I do think we're running out of Silverwing Avenger here. Notably, I think Berserk is at its scariest when there's like a pump spell involved. So like if our opponent were to go, by the way, here's a bunch of pump spells. Here's the Finest Hour and a Rapid Shot. Which they can't cast, but like if that were to happen, that's sort of where Berserk gets scariest. Whereas I think taking 2 attack off of any of the rest of these with Silverwing Avenger isn't really changing too much. Yeah, so I think we'll just go Silverwing Avenger on this 2-1. Make it a 0-1. That should go a ways to preventing any sort of blowouts. Question mark? Huh. What are we working with here? Maybe we just take 7? Yeah, because I'm fine throwing the Frontier Confessor in front of something, but I don't know if I want to block with a Graceful Calligrapher. What could it be, like a torch? Well, Firepulse spells typically don't add a lot of toughness, so I think if we block here, we can at least guarantee like the 1-for-1. So we'll take this block and kind of see what happens. Sure. Yeah, okay. Well, that's fine. It's not great, but that's fine. Wish we could enable our tribute. That's okay. We don't need it. We could just pass turn and then Crown Watch tactic. Kind of like the sound of that. Oh, no, we should probably run this guy out. But then we'll be very low. Yeah, just pass turn. Oni Master, sure. Oh, no attack. What in the world? That's not how you're supposed to play this game. I think we're getting to a point where we just want to run this guy out to have an extra blocker, so sure. It's too late to repent. Let's do that. 4/5 seems pretty good. Don't really like leaving my pump spells down, but it seems okay. Okay, perfect. So now, attack in the air. We kind of got through that one turn where we had to tap out, and I think we're okay now. Between Finest Hour and Crown Watch Standard, sort of to hold the fort down. Oh, what a blessing right there. What do we want to play around? Do we want to play around anything? Do we want to play this? Yeah, whatever. Sure. We'll torch this guy. And I think these guys, because they have the same toughness, I'm kind of okay with attacking with, like, I usually like to leave the bigger butt behind, just to be better on defense, but I don't think it's too relevant here. Okay, that's cool. Sure. 1 armor, ka-ching, and oh yeah, cool. That triggers our Xenon Obelisk as well. So here's a 7/6 attacking. Cool. You got a 9. Could have been good. Here's a Greta Rider as a blocker. Yeah. So this one seems pretty good. We did a pretty good job of stabilizing against the aggro. It wasn't too fast or anything. It wasn't too aggressive, but
8 steel.
you know, I think we did okay. And then sure, I think we just win this game. Because of what? We have Peacekeeper's Helm, Silence the Nerd. Was that Temper? We don't even need to do that. Here. 2 attacks. You'll block 1, and then we'll just go Crown Watch Tactic. Yeah, and you have a Temper, that's fine. 8, goes to 11. Skydiver dies. Spear Diver, not Skydiver. Skydiver is not that part as well. Cool. Oh, hey, we're number 4. This is what happened. That's what happens when you don't play all weekend. Alright, cool. On to the next one. Alright, we're back. Ugh. Do we keep this? Maybe? I feel like if we send this one back, we're not going to have a playable hand. Because that's what always happens. Let's just keep this one and hope for the best. Okay. So let's just keep with that trend of not drawing power cards and I think we'll be all set. Not like that.
Let's dance.
It's probably worth torching. Yep. Whirling Duo is a very good card. I would love to draw one right here, but we didn't draft one, so maybe I don't want to see one. Hey, what's good? Ugh. No, that's bad. We do not want to run out our Reinforced Baton right now. Ideally, we'd be able to kill a creature with it, so... Oh, hey. There's the first creature of the game. What's up, Copperhall Porter? You got a torch for this? No? Alright. That's cool.
Beauty and purpose combined.
Calligrapher, sure. We'll attack. I feel like you have to let this one go. Okay, sure. We'll cash in a Finest Hour. So we'll eat his Graceful Calligrapher, and we'll play another power. Another one of these guys last turn. So if he's willing to make that block, I think we can trigger the lifesteal on the Silver Purge Leader, which is kind of neat. Oh, I'm just kidding. That's not a block I should make. Well, maybe it is, right? Yeah, go figure. Alright. Here's a Reinforced Baton. Kill that. Great! And we still have our baton up. This is awesome. Yeah, so our 5 land Torch, and what was the last card? I don't remember. Whatever. Oh, wow. Tough times, huh? Yeah, that's not a good sign for our opponent. I guess you gotta do what you gotta do. Sure, you gotta reinforce baton down. Let's go. Yeah. Sure. And I'm kind of okay with just racing at this point. One of the great things about lifesteal is like you don't really have to worry about, because there's a bunch of considerations when you have to play around pump spells, damage spells, and really just any sort of tricks in the middle of combat. If you have lifesteal, which we don't, then you don't have to play around any of that. And it's pretty sweet. You can just sort of like keep attacking over and over and over and over again. And then you kind of put the onus on your opponent, especially if you're winning that race, which you probably are because you have lifesteal. You're putting the onus on your opponent to sort of like get rid of that creature. And you just don't ever block with it, and you know, make sure it doesn't ever get blocked, and you know, put them on the spot to have a hard removal spell. But anyway, I play this. I think we're looking for the last power, but that's also pretty sweet. I kind of don't feel like putting that back. Huh. We'll leave him on top. And then swing with this guy. Yeah, well, maybe we can leave him back. What if we... Yeah. Let's offer a double block. I kind of like that. Yeah, let's do it. So play this guy right here, pass turn. We'll lose our 2-for-1, but, I mean, we'll lose 2 creatures here. Maybe just 1 creature. I don't know. Maybe he won't even take the double block. But getting that 8th power will be pretty sweet, and we can have our Frontier Confessor eat it too. Maybe we don't even double block here. Yeah, I kind of like just the single block. I think I feel pretty good about that. These are some pretty good cards. And some pretty bad ones, I guess. Bleh, bleh, bleh. Eh? I kind of like the double block with this, actually, so we'll let that one go. And then we can...
Hold them off!
Yeah, let's just attack with this guy. See what happens. Cool. And then... Oh, that was dumb. Yeah, I was trying to trigger lifesteal. I forgot about that. Okay, whatever. We can go... Huh. We could just play him out as a 4/5. That probably wins most combats, right? Alternatively, running another body to silence him might not be the worst, because I don't want him to have lifesteal. That's reserved for us. Or we just play a 4/5 flyer. Yeah, we'll silence.
You got a familiar face.
I didn't see a fast spell? Who knows? Maybe he doesn't have one? That'd be kind of cool. Because I want to make this block right here with the 3/2 and the 2/4, but like, a Sharpened Reflexes kind of blows that out in a big way. But if he doesn't attack here, that's a good sign he doesn't have a pump spell. If he doesn't have a pump spell, well, I guess even if he does have a pump spell, but like, we'll just keep attacking him with this Copper Hall Porter until you know, it dies. Then we get our 8th power, and a 5/6 flyer would be really sweet right about now. Just saying. Or maybe we'll get blown up by a welding torch right here. I don't know. Well, he is taking a long time, so it's probably a good indicator that he doesn't have a handful of power, which...
8 steel.
Oh, interesting. Sure, yeah. I think we're okay attacking with these guys. Maybe just these two. Sure. Okay. So we get some damage in, that's good. But more importantly, we have our lifesteal guy now.
Die, traitor!
So I think it's going to be kind of tough for him. His fast spell, he's got a temper. I think the only thing we have to worry about at this point is gun down. Yeah, I think this is okay. Yeah, so like as long as we can start swinging with this guy, I think we're in really great shape. We don't even have to keep trying to suicide the Copper Hall Porter anymore. We can just kind of leave it back on defense. This Grave Tender is unsurprisingly useless, but that's okay. What are you going to do? Not every card can be Xena and Obelisk levels of good. Yeah, so whatever he does, I don't think we're blocking with this guy. It's just, it's kind of our ticket to win this game. Things get a lot easier when we don't have to interact with the Fire Justice deck in combat. So, you know, once we start clocking in for 4 a turn, hopefully we can start clocking in for 4 a turn, making like an 8-turn life swing, and then, you know, there's just not going to be a way for him to come back from that. He might take a couple of hits, and then afterwards, won't be able to do anything. Okay. It's pretty good. There's a detain, yeah, you got it. I'm kind of okay with that. I will block with the smaller butt. Sure. Oh, wow. That's pretty sweet. What will that be? That'll be 5 coming in? Huh. I think silencing this guy probably needs to happen at this point. Yeah, sure, whatever. Go here, silence you, swing 5 in the air. Do the hokey pokey, turn yourself around. Great. So we just gained 5 life off of that. We know our opponent has a temper, and I don't think there was another fast spell after that, or before that, unless they drew one this very last draw or the draw before that. Okay, cool. Alrighty, we did it. Ooh. Yeah, we did it! We're number 3 again! What we worked so hard to get away from last week, we've finally returned to, so... Yeah, good job, everybody. This is a big moment for me, and I'm glad you're all here to witness it. Alright. I'm kind of inclined to keep this one. 1 drop, 2 drop, 3 drop. Yeah, let's give it a shot. So, we're probably going to lead on turn 1 trading ground. Then, oh, cool. We got our 3rd color. Then we can decide whether we want to play Copper Hall Porter or Greta Render or Trading Ground. Or, excuse me, the Monk token. Of note is that our opponent is on fire. And I know I've mentioned I've said about twice this draft now that that's a clue that they might be playing. Yes, we want that. A clue that they might be playing an aggro deck. It's never definitive, but you know, always a possibility. Okay, so given that he played a disassembler, I'm kind of thinking I want to lead with a Copper Hull Porter. I'm not really looking to push through damage at this point. I'd rather just play it a little bit patiently and then sort of develop a board. Also, I'm most okay with the Copper Hull Porter dying out of these three, so I think I will run it out first.
How can I serve?
Now seems like a pretty good time to torch this. I don't really want to deal with the 6/6 Scrap Hound. I think we can serve him with this guy. Oh, cool. We take one. Ouch. But yeah, we'll serve him right here. And then we'll be mana efficient. Run out our monk. And then we can pass turn here. Yeah, that was... Hopefully that was the last Scrap Hound he had. Because 6/6s are kind of rough. I'm feeling like he's definitely going to play something bigger as a follow-up. So I think I'm okay with that. Yeah, I don't really want to trade here. My turn on, what do you call it? Tribute. My turn on Tribute. That's what I was looking for. Now, if we wanted to get really gutsy, I'm saying no. Alright, Resolute Paladin pass turn. We're drawing some of the less exciting cards in our deck, which isn't really a problem. Yeah, I don't know. Like to see some welding torches or a... Oh, wow. Yeah, you got it. That's fine. I guess that's really where Spore Breath is at its best, and also why Resolute Paladin isn't a very good card. But, yeah, this seems okay. Spellcraft and Ruin. Sure. Yikes. I think I kind of want to... So double blocking is out of the question. But what we can probably do is... This is tough. Play Grenarender, kill the Sledge, and then hold back for another turn? I think that's our plan. We take 9 here, we get 13. It's not great, but our opponent's under 1 card in hand, so there's that to be thankful for. So what is he normally? Like a 5/5? Cool. Another thing I kind of like doing is just playing out both of these creatures in passing turn. Yeah, I think I'm okay with that, actually. Let's just play both of these pass turn. So if he swings in with his 5/5, we have a couple of choices, one of which involves triple blocking it, and then another of which would just be to let it go through. I'm kind of okay with this, though, because if we're taking 5 right here, we're kind of gaining 1 life back on the crackback, and then we have the option to use the Grenarender to get rid of the Sledge. As a 5/5, this card's a little bit difficult to deal with, but like as a 2/4, I'm kind of okay with just taking a couple of hits on the chin, you know? It's not really a big deal for me. It's pretty good. Oh boy. We'll play a training ground, see what we can draw here. Or what we can... Oh! Oh, yes, please. I want that. Then what, that's a 5/5? Play another one of these. I kind of don't want to swim with it, but... Huh. Because if he attacks with a 5/5, we have to trade away 3 creatures. But if he attacks with a 2/4, yeah, maybe we can just block with this guy. Yeah, I think it's worth it. So it seems like he has another fast spell in hand. We should be mindful of that.
You're worth more dead than alive.
Cool. This isn't even Obelisk. And I think we just passed turn. Yeah, we're kind of playing the slow game now. I don't really like where this one's going, but I feel like the skill channel sorcerer can give us some big trouble if we're not careful. Sure, you got Spark Pot. Yep. We'll start writing these out one by one. It'd be nice to get the 1 power off Thermal Waystone, but it's not really that big of a deal if we don't.
The corruption.
That card's very good. Sure. Pass turn. I feel like there's definitely an attack incoming. Oh, or not. Cool. Great. Now everything gets +2/+2. That's pretty sweet. I think we'll leave that one back. We can attack with these 2. We can guarantee we'll get something out of that. But I also don't really want the Cabal Slash to get pumped, so maybe we'll pass turn, see if we can find like a torch or something. Welding Torch might also be okay. Even a Frontier Confessor wouldn't be too bad. Oh boy. This is where things start to get wet. A lot of flooding happening. I don't know. Nothing's really changed. I think what's the most life this can gain is like 3, goes like a 4/3. We still have like a 3/5 to block. We'll just try it. Put him on the spot. I feel okay with this Crown Watch tactic in hand, and if he has some crazy blowout spell, then so be it. What's the worst we have to watch out for? Like Hoof Slash, Rampage, Torch maybe? Oh wow. It's a lot of blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Jeez. Okay. Sure. So I think we should probably just kill the Corrupted Upbringing. And then this guy go to a 4/3. And that's slightly problematic, but I think that's okay. At least we got rid of the Corrupted Upbringing. Unless he's got a Surgeon Saw. Huh. I think we serve him with both of these, and then we have the potential to play a big Grave Tender. It's 3, 4, 5. Sure. I don't know if you can afford to block with anymore. Oh, okay. That's pretty cool. Huh. Yeah, if that's the case, I think we just let this one go. We'll kill the Cabal Slasher, gain some life, that's fine. And then the 4/4 will connect with his face. But then more importantly, we get a 5/5 flyer, which is really good for what we're trying to do right now. Yeah, and then I think we can serve again, 5 every turn. Cool. This seems fine. Pass turn. Yeah, and we can send this Crown Watch tactic. Yeah, I think the Scale Channel Sorcerer is really, like, it's a lot scarier in theory. What's this? Sure, we'll block. I think it's a lot scarier in theory than it is in practice. Mostly just to say that, like, it represents some pretty terrifying things, but most of the time it's just a 2/4 for 4. I think I'm kind of okay with that. Sure. 2 to 8. Yeah, and I don't even think we need to use the Crown Watch tactic to push lethal on the following turn, but you never know. Okay, do we have any attachments? Oh yeah! Oh, that's bad. Well, maybe not. So what is that, 3? It's not the worst, I guess. Maybe we just take this one on the chin. Yeah, kind of like that. The blocks go to 12. And then, oh, that's also quite good. I think we can... We should use it on this guy, the disassembler. Swing in with both right here. He'll probably block with the spark bot, but this is a pretty free attack from our end. There's not a whole lot. Yeah, I don't see a fast spell for him, so we might even just go for the Crown Watch attack to lethal next turn. We could have used Gun Down on the Scale Channel Sorcerer, but at this point, I'd rather save it for a flyer. I don't think he can push lethal at this point. If he's got a fast spell right here, so be it. Kill you on the single faction, sure. And then we'll use the Crown Watch tactic right here to protect this guy. So that, I mean, the Annihilate was really good, for sure, but yeah, he's a 3/4. Oh, wow. That's really strong. I think we can just use this to shoot a blocker. It seems so wrong though, right? So you play it on him, he'll go to a 6/6. Yeah. Sure. And then we'll just attack. Yeah, so he's got 4 power on board. He's got to play another 2 in order to have enough to block. I've got a feeling he doesn't have anything else in hand. Then we have the Gun Down to deal with anything that he plays. I like our position. We also have a lot of power, which is great. I mean, you have to block. It's not great. It's not ideal. But do what you gotta do. Cool. Pass turn. And I think we will pull the trigger on the Gun Down. Right here. Well, yeah, I don't really want to deal with any sort of fast spell nonsense, which he doesn't have, so we'll attack, he blocks the spark bot, and then he's just sort of on draw unit or die for the rest of the game. So I don't think we need to worry about any sort of like another Annihilate would be really good for him, but any sort of like pump spells and sort of damage. Okay, awesome. So start off a little bit shaky there, but I think we ended up in a good place. I mean, yeah, of course we won. There's no better place than winning. Alright, we're going into... Actually, don't know what round this is, but that's okay. This hand... I like this hand. Yeah, we'll keep it. You guys might notice I tend to keep a lot of really unexciting hands, and that's because I think the biggest thing you have to worry about, the biggest problem you have to worry about in these draft games is, as long as you've drafted like a semi-decent deck, the really big thing you need to worry about is just like not
This I can work with.
having functional cards or functional hand. What I mean by that is like mana screw and stuff like that. So as long as you have a hand that can like play itself, you're usually in pretty good shape. So I think here, yeah, we want to run on Crown Watch Paladin. It can't really tango with this 1/3, but it kind of prevents him from attacking a Warcry. Whereas if we just play our Copper Hall Porter, I think he's okay with just trading 1 damage and a Warcry for 2 damage every turn. This at least incentivizes him to like hang back a little bit. Or he has something that can block the Crown Watch Paladin.
Silent.
Sure. Interesting. So I almost feel like we don't attack here. Just because I think this card is more valuable. What we can do is play the Copper Hall and then pass turn right here. Yeah, so this one's going a bit slow, but he's not doing anything terribly aggressive, so I think we're still in an okay spot. Like, what's the worst case scenario? 2 swings right here? Sure, I'll get a 21. That's fine. We have Quick Draw on 5, Purge Leader on 6, and then maybe Subterranean Sentry on 7. And those are all very good cards, so I think we're still okay. Yeah, I don't want to block that. I don't want to block that either. But you probably have a bigger creature, which is the more frustrating part.
Careful now, it's heavy.
Oh man. Ground Crew. Pay 1. I don't really care about that ability, right? I think that's just a bad ability. Yeah. Okay, that seems fine. We'll play a Confessor.
Familiar face.
Silence this guy. I don't really mind the 1/1 unblockable. The Unseen Agent is not a card I'm usually very excited to play, and I'm pretty okay with playing against it. It sort of gets tricky when the opponent puts a big weapon on it, and until that's the case, I'm kind of okay with just taking 1 a turn. Like that. So, you know, here's to nothing. That's pretty good. Likewise, I think that might even be worth a gun down. Huh. So if we don't gun down here, are there options to play Silverwing Purge Leader on 6, and then hold up Finest Hour to block this guy on 7? And that means we're taking 5 next turn. And then we're taking another 5 the following turn, because we have to tap out for him. I kind of don't like that, so I think I'm just going to gun down here, and then just pass turn. Sure. 19. This is a clock. It is a slow clock, but it is still a clock. Yeah, you got it. Oh wow, that's good. Those are good cards. I think what we can try and do is maybe attack with this guy. Maybe this guy. Yeah, it seems fine. Sure. Here's the war cry. I think at this point I'm kind of okay with trading it away for like some lifesteal. What does this guy do? Pay 10. That's it. Wow. Sure. You got it. Here, take 2. Probably non-powered card. +1 attack. Yeah, I don't feel like. Alright, so this seems okay. We have a lifestealer now, which is kind of neat. Hopefully that'll be enough to sort of offset this. But more than likely, I'm kind of sensing a cut ties. Which is okay, because we wanted to clear the way for our Subterranean Sentry. And if he doesn't have it, then I feel pretty okay with just swinging in for 3 every turn. Because what is going to happen? He's going to deal like 3 to us, we'll gain 3 back. He's going to deal 3 to us, we'll gain 3 back. What? That's not... Wow. Alright. Yeah, you got it. When you got it, you got it. Jeez. That's interesting. Well played, sir. I guess that I was not expecting that at all. Well, so this clock just got a lot more relevance. I think we might be dead here. But let's play it out just in case.
Beauty and purpose combined.
Last turn. Sure, take 3. No blocks. Do we have any outs? What do we need, like a welding torch at this point? I guess even just like a regular torch would be really good too.
Uphold the Iron Fist's legacy.
Sure, start turn. That is not what we're looking for. Sure. Yeah, I don't think this is going to make a difference. What's that? 6, 7, 8. Yeah, we can take it to 6. It's going to be 1 guaranteed. Yeah, sure, we'll do it. Yep, I don't like where this is going, but what can you do? Guess we'll kill the 3/5. Sure, and you get some damage.
A purpose stronger than steel.
Sure. Kind of disagree with these attacks, even when you're this far ahead, but I think that's okay. I think he still has this one. You got it. Well played, sir. I'm glad that unfinished business combo worked out for you. Like, legitimately. I love weird stuff like that in draft. It's always like, you're not supposed to pick it, but, you know, when it works, it works. It's pretty great. Okay. This one I'm a little bit less inclined to keep. We do have all of our colors, but the Reinforced Baton's kind of a dead card. And I do think these like super conservative keeps have kind of been hurting us a little bit. Even though we only just lost our last game. I think the game before that was also kind of shaky, so yeah, maybe our deck's just not in a place where we can make keeps like that. This seems okay. Yeah, I'd love to see a time sigil somewhere, or a time source, but as it is, I think this is okay. We can run out Crown Watch on 2, Crown Watch on 3, the ultimate combo.
Now this
Oh
I can
my,
work with.
it's the same guy. Sure, Crown Watch Paladin, pass turn. No blocks. Yeah, you got it. And then oh, you're kidding me? This is the same deck, right? I think here we want to. I think I'm kind of okay with this trade-off. This may or may not have anything to do with me losing to an unseen agent last game.
Hold them off.
Yeah, maybe that wasn't the right play. We had ways to deal with that between Dispel and Level Torch, but that's very confident of you. Sure, we'll block. Seems like you just want your Warcry. I respect that attack. Cool, yeah, you got an Unseen Agent, and you play it, and then we all get Nightfall, draw more cards. Cool, 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 cool. All right, that is what we were looking for. Sure. Then we can go. Kind of don't want to play this guy out right now. Yeah, actually, this dude's okay. We can go Scouting Grounds next turn. Or Training Ground, rather. So right here, we're going to end up taking, what, 2, 1. Yeah, I don't think we want to block here.
Dance with me.
Oh, wow. Seems pretty strong. Sure. Yeah, seems fine. Yeah. We'll just go for the gun down right here. And we'll get rid of 8 power worth of stats. Sure. And this guy becomes invulnerable for turns. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Cool. Alright. That's good. I don't want to lose to another souped up unseen agent. It's not the kind of life I'm trying to live. So this guy hasn't actually played any, Oh wow.
Not bad.
That's pretty neat. Sure, we'll block here. Alright. This is tough, because I do think we need to... Yeah. Actually, yeah. That's pretty sick. We can, like, block this guy and give him Crown Watch tactic next turn. Cool. Well. The safer play might be to hold on until we have Finest Hour and Crown Watch tactic. So this guy's going in for sure. He's got Endurance. It's going to take us up to 17. If we take a hit, we're going to go down to 10. I don't know if we can afford to do that. Yeah, we'll try this. Maybe leaving it back will dissuade him from attacking or something weird like that. I don't know, but it's
My oath is true. If your coin
sure,
stays good.
it doesn't really matter. For all the marbles. Alrighty. Cool, that worked out. Yeah. Sure, you got a Miner's Canary, that's fine. And, wow. I guess that's kind of tough to deal with, but, let's see. We kind of want to silence this guy? Or the Oathkeeper, or the Battlefield Scavenger? I think we can torch the Battlefield Scavenger when the time comes. So, silencing this guy doesn't seem too bad at all. And then... So he's invulnerable to damage this turn. I think we can attack with both of these. Yeah, I like this. Sure. We'll take some damage. I really actually go for a Scry right now. Power? Yeah, we'll keep it on top. Pass turn. Yeah, so the next time we've got a Welding Torch on this guy. And that puts us in a pretty good spot.
My oath is true.
Sure.
If your coin stays good.
I don't really mind that. 3-4, 3-5, sure, we'll block. Yeah, I mean this guy's shown he's already willing to make that attack, so... I mean, I see no reason to doubt him. Shoot that. And then we attack with these two. This guy's invulnerable. Yeah, this guy's been working out really well. I don't know if that's just kind of a fluke or something, but... It's been pretty crazy. That blowout with the Crown Watch standard, or the Crown Watch tactic worked out really well for us. Nice turn. Yep, and we're at a precarious 32 life right here, but I think we'll find a way to squeeze this one out. I'm actually, yeah, so I think I might actually go for the Training Ground next turn as well. I would not use the Fire Style if I don't have to. So we can do this, make this guy vulnerable. And... Huh. Do we have a Warcry guy? Yeah. Wow, that was pretty far down. Yeah, I'm fine with keeping that on top. So let's attack with these two. Play that out first. Attack with these two. And I'd be surprised if he blocked this guy, but we can use the 5-star right here for the blowout. He goes to 4, sure. These two guys threaten lethal next turn. Yeah. So I mean, the 4-1, we're out of spells. Maybe I didn't even need to play that Training Ground, but I think this puts us in a pretty good spot to just A-space. Alright, we did it. Cool. And we're almost done with our quest, too. Alright, let's jump into game 7. Okay. Oh, this is a great hand. Okay. We're keeping this. We have all of our influence requirements, which is double justice, single fire, single time. And we have 2-drop, 3-drop, torch, and a 4-drop if you want to call Frontier Confessor a 4-drop.
I'll find my way.
How can I
Makes our
serve?
quarter look pretty bad. But that's okay. If he attacks and doesn't play a creature, then we can crack back to 2 damage. Lightning Strike? Oh, fast spell. Huh. Alright, so I think we can...
Hold them
We'll
off!
play this guy right here. And we'll just kind of hold off on... I wouldn't even take the block right here. I don't want to worry about, like, I don't know, jump kick or something weird like that. Well, that's cool. Sure. What we can probably do... Okay. So... He didn't attack there, which is kind of surprising. But what I think we can do is... Power first. Copperhole Porter? Yeah, I don't really think we need to use the silence for anything. We can hold up the torch and pass turn. That seems okay.
How can I serve?
Sure. Oh no. Terry! You got Terry X hatchlings. Those are pretty good. Sure. Kind of like torching that guy? Let's do that. I think that's a good use of the torch. And then we can... Huh. I think gun down's a pretty aggressive line. Yeah. Let's just silence it.
You've got a familiar face.
We can serve in for 1 life here, that's cool. Sure. Alright. And so we know he has a snowball and an echo card. Or what do you call it? The Jotun other guy. Oh, okay. Yep, Herald Song is the echo card I'm most happy to see. It's not true card advantage, and yeah, that's usually what it ends up doing. Cool. Yeah, you get a bold adventure and I think a snowball here. Yeah, there you go. Cool. So we get an extra power right here, which is pretty neat. And this board's pretty close to that parity, so I guess we'll start there. Oh, baby. We can't play that, can we? Maybe if the Copper Hop Porter dies. We'll leave it on top. The card's just too good not to keep on top. And I think we're okay with serving in with this guy. Just because I'm pretty okay trading away with a 2-3 at this point. That being said, if I were him, I want to take that block. Yeah, I mean, like, any sort of tribute or pump spell really just blows that out. So we can go Bright Mace Paladin and this guy pass turn. Yeah. And, like, the Welding Torch would be good on the Bright Mace Paladin, but we can also just, like... Huh. That's interesting. Maybe go here, here? I kind of like that. That gives us, what do you call it? That might be a Scavenging Spike back, but I think this is good because it gives us the 7th power for the, Welding Torch, that's what it's called. Yeah, this is fine. Sure. Yeah, so we'll attack with these two. We're fine with any trades. Sure, whatever. Chip in for 3, it's fine. Pass turn, and we have Welding Torch. Hopefully another Herald Song. But yeah, a Welding Torch with this guy, bring him to a 4-5, shoot a guy down, and then just swing in for life. Lifesteal might be good enough to get the job done. I think he's got, yeah, 2 hatchlings? Is that how that works? Cool. Cool, cool, cool. So that means we can probably attack it with everything. Cool.
See.
You got an Herbalist, that's fine. Yeah? I think I'm okay with this. I don't think I want to offer anything else right now because double blocks are kind of bad news. Hopefully we get like a pump spell or something. Yeah, that's fine. Oh wow, that's ambitious. Yeah, I didn't think that was right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I almost don't want to attack with this guy. Yeah, oh well, we'll pass turn. I think he's worth a little bit more at this point. And if the guy wants to serve in with like a couple smaller creatures, that's fine. Oh wow, that's pretty sweet. We could... Yeah. Let's just give this guy -2 attack and then serve in here. I think I'm kind of okay with trading away for the 2-3 at this point. Just because the Aegis is kind of obnoxious. Sure. We'll kill him. Yeah, kill one of you. That's fine. Maybe not the best trade in hindsight. I say hindsight as if I couldn't have seen that coming. But yeah, I think it's okay. Oh, yeah, that's pretty sweet. I think I want it on the endurance guy or the flyer. Probably the flyer. Yeah. And goodbye. Yeah, we'll need an 8th power for Obelisk, so we can run that out right now. I was thinking subterranean sentries where the curve tops, or where the curve caps, but this will be okay. Wow. Yeah, you got it. Well played, sir. Wow, I think it might actually be worth using the Dispel right now. No, that doesn't make any sense. We can just kill this guy. Jump kick. Meditate. Interesting. And then I think we're okay attacking both of these. Sure. Yep, that's fine. Yep, that's okay. And then last turn. Yeah. Oh shoot, that was dumb. We lost our baton. We weren't even thinking about that guy, but I guess that's what you get for playing fast and loose. Or sometimes you get rewarded in situations like this. Great. 3-3 flyer. Awesome, we're good at this game. Oh, okay, no, but for real, these have been some pretty loose plays, so
Stay alert.
I don't really like how this has been going. Sure. Yeah, you need to slow down a little bit. 5-5, sure. I think I'm okay with trading this away for P. Terry and Emanera. Sure, seems fine. Sure, so we'll be taking one for a while. Great.
I am the mountain's wrath!
I think I'm okay with that, actually. It's not really too big of a deal. He's got to do a couple chub blocks. 3 damage to each enemy unit's not going to kill this guy. Yeah, I'll probably hold on my Dispel for Indelible Cerso, I guess. Because that's going to come up soon. Wow, that's pretty strong. Yep. 6 go to 18, sure. Yeah. Play this guy. Oh, okay. Sure, that's fine. Yeah, I don't know about that one. It's a little bit loose, but I guess the deck kind of pulled through for us at the end there. Yeah, alright, so 6-1. It's turned out a little bit better than I expected it would. You guys might notice that's a recurring theme in my drafts. I always think they're going to go really poorly, and then they tend to go pretty well. But, I don't know, I say that, and we're going to lose the next 2 and then 6-3 like we did last time. Yeah, this deck seems okay. I think, if anything, it just really shows off how strong Xenon Obelisk and Torch are as cards. Also, Training Ground did a lot of work, which was really cool. But, yeah, other than that, pretty cut and dry, not too exciting. Nothing really crazy going on, so. Alright, hopefully jumping into the last game. Let's do this. Alright, game number... For all the marbles. I think I might have to send this one back. Yeah, I don't know. Grave Tender is would be nice to have with Crown Watch Paladin, because I think that's almost a guaranteed tribute. People would love to trade with this card. Yeah, Wielding Torture Frontier Confess, I'm just not doing enough. Yeah, this looks a lot better. Oh my. That seems strong. Okay, sure. We'll run our Arcano banner and pass turn. Yeah. I don't really think we have a way to deal with a 6/6 Scrap Hound. The closest we get is Gun Down, which is 5/5 and not quite there. But, oh jeez. That's obnoxious. Do I try to trade away with one of them? That can't be right. Right? I don't know. We'll see how this goes.
Your sword, Jitter.
I think I'm okay with this. Sure. Then we have this guy.
Be redeemed.
Turn 4. Probably gonna eat this? Yeah. That's not ideal, but I think it's okay. We have Torch backup? Yeah, I kind of like this actually. We'll do it like this, past turn. I think we're going to offer the double block right here. He did sink a lot of resources of that. There was the Scrap Hounds, ate another Scrap Hound, and then the Granite Acolyte. Put the sword onto him. I think if he wants to make this attack... that's risky actually. Actually, what I think might be a little bit better is to offer up, huh, okay. Seems okay. We could put the Spellkeeper's Helm, Peacekeeper's Helm on this guy, make him into a 4/5 to dissuade this attack right here. Because I think if he had a pump spell, he might have just used it there. But even that's not a guarantee. Yeah. Let's try this. I think we need to take some kind of unorthodox lines here, which isn't ideal, but... yeah, that 8/6 is really problematic. So ideally what we'll do here is we'll make this block. Or maybe this will dissuade the 3/4 attack. And then if he has an 8/6, we can block here. Deal damage. I don't want to like have to deal with any sort of quick draw nonsense. And then when he passes turn, we can torch in order to kill this. Now, one more power would be really, really good because it would turn on both Crown Watch Tactic and Gun Down. So I actually don't mind too much if this guy dies. And I think that's actually what's holding him back from a lot of his attacks. So. Huh. Wonder what's taking him so long. Shot. Hey, get it? That was bad. Yeah. That is not the high quality content people watch these videos for.
Your sword.
Okay. Wow. That's something. Yeah. Wow, that's... Okay, cool. I think I'm kind of okay with the gun down on this, actually. It does kind of leave me vulnerable for a turn, which is unfortunate. Yeah, we might just have to take 8 here. I don't know if I can afford to block anything. That blocks. That's brutal. Cool. Here's a creature. Or a unit. No, not... Wow. Hey everybody, sorry it's getting a little bit late. Okay, I think we just passed turn here. I think we take this block. Let's do it like this. Block, and then use Crown Watch tag. Cool. Gives us a little bit more life to work with. I was kind of wondering if he'd have a pump spell for that, but it seems like there's no pump spells. Or no fast spells, at least. Would be nice to draw power here. Then we could play the Silverwing Purge Leader and hold up Torch.
Eat steel.
Sure. Or yeah, that works too. Wow, this is awkward. I think we just passed turn, right? God, this seems so crazy. Maybe we put Killer on this guy? We might as well, right? Like, it's just a free card? Yeah, and then we can go Killer Silverwing Purge Leader on the following turn. Yeah. So we're going to double torch this guy. And then probably just take 6 right here. Then we can untap, use Killer on a guy, and then play Silverwing Purge Leader. Sure. So we're taking 9 here. Does he have Torch? Yeah. He got it. Ugh, well played. Well played. Yeah, that was tough. On the bright side, we're still number 4, I guess. So that's cool. Okay. Alright, last one. This is not a good hand. Maybe if we had some sort of time sigil. Yeah, there we go. It's amazing what a little bit of training grounds can do for the opening hand. Okay, opponent has an echo card. Time sigil. All important things to keep in mind. I think we're bottoming anything that's not a sigil. Yeah, we'll keep it on top. Was kind of hoping that would be like something so we could play Reinforced Baton on 3, but
Guide my fist.
actually, yeah, no, we definitely should have. We should play the Justice Sigil right there in case we draw the 3rd one. But I guess never punished. And then we'll play this guy out right here. Pass turn. This is going pretty well. I'm not really sure what our opponent's doing, but we can run out the Obelisk on 4. Sure. Take 7, go to 16. Pass turn. I think we're in a pretty okay shape. Oh. Sure. Let's go to 20. That seems fine. 2 attacks. Pass turn. We're kind of stonewalled by this worm. Oh, get the fuck. What in the world? Are you kidding me? Sure, no blocks. Oh, that's wild right there. This might be the end of the road for us, but it was good while it lasted, I suppose.
Guide my fists.
Remember that game where we had trouble dealing with the 6/6 Grenadin? Oh, that's pretty sweet. How do I want to play this? I think we can go... If we stun this guy, then both swing in. Take him to 5? Kind of think we have to go for it. We don't have too many other options. No, but then... Yeah, that's not going to work. So basically, he still has another accelerated evolution in hand. And so if we use the Peacekeeper's Helm to silence and stun a unit, he can just play another accelerated evolution on it in order to break the stun. Alright, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to play this, and silence this guy, and then pass turn and hope to bait out the second accelerated evolution. I mean, I say bait, but, like, let's be honest, that's not exactly a bait. If he uses it, that's great for him. Sure. Seems good. I think we just use this now. Uh-oh. Jump kick? Jump kick would be brutal. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Pass turn. I think we just take our time here. Ugh, this game is so stressful. One more accelerated evolution. I don't know, like... I feel like if I were him, I would just play it on the worm and start swinging in. Or even on the slope sergeant and just give it flying and start swinging in. But, I kind of want to wait for that accelerated evolution to come out before I use this Peacekeeper's Helm. Because I think it gives us an extra turn. Oh, wow. Sure. Well, that's pretty good. Huh. Yeah, guess we'll say no blocks again. Goodbye, reinforced baton. Yeah, okay. This is something. We can work with this. So, if we go... Maybe we serve him with both of these. Yeah, that's good. Cool. We got our tribute prop? I'm okay with this. Sure. Pass turn. And then he can swing in for 12 here, take us to 14. I'm kind of okay with letting that attack through. Oh, wow. That's strong. Yeah, take this, go to 14. I think we Peacekeeper's Helm this guy up. And then stun the worm? But we still can't... that stupid accelerated evolution is just... Oh, there we go. Cool. We need to give it flying. That's fine. This is okay. We do not have Any attachments to kill. Okay, 1 armor. I guess it's okay though. We can go Peacekeeper's Helm, stun this guy. Take 5, sure. And then we'll play this guy. And hopefully ace base for lethal next turn? Sure. I don't think that's gonna do it. What could you have? Clan Tactic? Lightning Strike? Woo! We did it. Alright, I guess we're still number 4. That's fine. Whew, okay. This was an interesting draft. I think... I promise I sometimes draft colors that aren't fTJ. But this one was basically just held together on the back of, I want to say, Jesture Obelisk. Not to say that we drew in every single one of our games, but the card itself is absolutely bonkers, as you guys saw. I had no business dealing with a 5/5 flying slope sergeant and an 8/8 endurance worm. Yeah, those are just way bigger than anything I had, but of course we just took it to a little bit later, played a Jesture Obelisk, and all of a sudden, like, we're just out racing this guy. Yeah, cards that did exactly what they were supposed to do. Torch is incredible. Finest Hour is very good. Training Ground actually did a lot of work this game. Just being able to keep a hand with 1 sigil and, like, for example, 1 time sigil and 1 Training Ground and 1 other sigil basically means, like, that hand is a keep. That scout just helps so much. We can kind of look at that and make sure that the rest of our draws are kind of smoothed out. We kept a lot of hands that we probably couldn't have kept without Training Ground. For those who haven't played a lot with this, highly recommend it. I think it's a great card. Let's see. I think that's about it. This deck wasn't terribly exciting, but sometimes it doesn't have to be exciting to get the job done. We just rode the back of Jesture Obelisk.